His vocals are being described as hauntingly compelling. And now, Forest Blakk joins us in the studio.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hi, AfterBuzzers! Welcome back to Mini Spotlight, where we highlight rising stars in music, TV, and film. I'm your host, Amy Cassandra Martinez, and you can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ. And I am joined by a very special, charismatic, talented, wonderful human being, Forest Blakk. Hi. Welcome. Before we get fully into this interview and spill all of your secrets, can you please let everyone know where they can find you on social media?
All social media at Forest Blakk. Blakk is B-L-A-K-K.
I have a question. You probably get it all the time, but I feel like our fans want to know, how many times a day do you get Run, Forest, Run?
All day long.
All day long?
I know.
All day long.
Yeah, I figure I need a Nike endorsement for how much I'm running.
You know,
yeah.
That is a very good way to look at
So
it.
if anybody out there works with Nike.
That was perfect. I like that. You got it. All right. Okay. We're going to start from the beginning. From the very, very beginning. So
Okay.
you were born.
I was.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a winter day.
It was a winter day.
Yeah, my birthday's this weekend, so.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Happy early birthday!
Thank you.
Oh my god,
Thank
yay!
you. So that's where it started, February 17th.
February 17th.
I'm an Aquarius baby.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, really.
Me neither.
Okay.
I thought you knew. Okay.
I don't.
That's cool. Aquarius babies are cool.
People say it's great.
I mean, hey, yeah, that's great. Now, what point, or at least what was the first memory you have singing?
I know exactly the moment. I was 5 years old, and my uncle came to me with a catalog, and he's like, he wanted to get me I can't remember if it was a Christmas or a birthday gift, but I was 5, and he'd opened up this catalog, and there was an option between a guitar and a guitar and a mic. And I have no clue why, but I really gravitated towards the guitar and the mic. So I mean, with hindsight, looking back on it now, it all makes sense. But that was the first moment that I had, like, picked something in music, and I was like, oh, mic and guitar. But the first time I actually sang, my grandmother had bought me a guitar when I was 15. I was homeless as a kid, and she took me off the streets and got me a gift and gave me this guitar. And I remember sitting in the basement, and I was playing that guitar, and just, I mean, playing is a loose word for what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just hitting these strings, and I can't tell you how or why or what, but just this overwhelming feeling came through me, and I just, like, my mouth started to open, and it wasn't words that came out or melodies yet, but it was like an awful sound that just kind of came out, and it was like all these feelings that I'd had just started to come out, and I realized in that moment that, oh, that's something, this has got to be something, and it felt good. Afterwards I was like, this is a major release. So that was, I mean, my story is deep right away.
No,
so.
I know. That's why it's like you kind of just like went over the fact that you were homeless. No, guys, you heard that right. Your story is just amazing to listen to. How do you think that that's helped you as an artist now?
Oh, incredibly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shaped everything. I mean, I think the first thing to kind of express or acknowledge is that, like, all things are relative. And that took a moment to kind of understand as I grew up. I remember you start when you're young and you're like, why do people have this and why don't I have that?
Yes.
But then at some point you start to realize, like, oh, I had that and I was able to use it for this.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, you know, I learned how to make friends a lot quicker than maybe some other people. And I learned, even though I was an introvert, how to live in an extroverted world.
Whoa,
So I learned how to get out of my comfort zone and, like, you know, capture fans and friends alike and, like, just create this community around me. Living out of suitcases and, you know, going from being homeless and going from place to place. Well, it's just so funny looking at my life now. Like, literally that is my life. Like, an Airbnb or a hotel. Like, this is...
How crazy!
That's home, right? So for a lot of people, I think that'd be uncomfortable to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me, it's like living out of a bag is pretty awesome. Like,
It's
So it's all relative. Like, the hardest thing someone else has gone through, if it's they got a D in school and I was homeless, it's the same. It's just how you feel about a situation, you know? And
Whoa.
for me, that's shaped what I do now. Like, I feel just really privileged to kind of be living in this world doing what I do. So
I saw your post. It was on February 4th. And you wrote like a very nice whole paragraph in your caption. And there was something that's just stood out to me. And you said that you felt an intense feeling of appreciation. And it feels like, you know, just listening to your music and researching everything about you, that you're like right on the verge of like everyone and their mother knowing about you.
Wow.
So it's amazing to obviously get to talk to you here, but it's amazing also to see that you're so appreciative of every single moment.
Yeah.
How do you stay in the moment when something amazing is happening to you?
I mean, just one, it's overwhelming in the best way, where you don't, I think you get a lot of pinch me moments where you're like, I don't know how this is really happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's kind of hard maybe not to be grounded after the things that I've seen. It's just really hard. Like I don't have an ego. I'm not full of myself. I'm just really, I really do appreciate being able to do everything, whether it's coming and hang out with you to riding with my Uber driver and finding out his name. Like I just think that all of this is just, I feel like I'm on borrowed time, you know, so it's pretty awesome. I don't know, I feel really grateful. I just wake up every morning going like, how is this my life? You know, and like, it's
cool.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
I feel really honored.
So guys, you did hear borrowed time, so you are from Canada.
I am.
But guys, get this, he lives in Germany. He flew 11 hours straight to AFTERBUZZ just for us. Just for us. Yeah. How do you think that affects your music and just like all of what you do? Being born in Canada, everything that you've been through, and now you live in Germany and you fly here, and then sometimes you go to New York, and like you do so much. How does that affect you and your music?
Wow, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I live in Germany, which is great. I get to see a culture, and I live an hour from France, a couple hours from Prague.
Gosh.
So I get to travel and be part of different cultures that otherwise I wouldn't really see. So I get to experience that. But I also lived in Jamaica as a kid, so like I had.
That's amazing.
It's pretty wild, yeah. So I had like reggae influences, and hanging out with like reggae stars that no one was like familiar with at the time, and I was like, these are like the people I would like admired. So it's all shaped how I see music. But I think the biggest thing for me musically is I'm writing about what I feel. Every song is a real representation of an emotion. Like that's what I am about. That's raw, authentic, organic, or this is my heart on my sleeve, put into a song for people to hear. And I'm grabbing a lot of these experiences from these strangers I've met around the world. So it's nice to be able to leave home and sit in different parts and different pockets and experience cultures and people, and then take those stories and allow them to align up with how I feel. And then for whatever reason, I'm lucky enough to hear this thing somewhere else, and I get to turn that into this.
Art.
So, art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art.
So pinch me again.
Art. Yeah, I know. Okay, a few questions, just like bangers.
Let's rapid fire, let's do it.
Okay. Who would you love to work with?
Don Henley. Please.
Who are you most inspired by?
People. Everyday people. The real people. Yeah.
Who are you currently listening to?
Bishop Briggs.
Okay.
I think she's rad. I mean everything, but that's just the one that came to mind.
What are your thoughts on, well, I guess it's not that fast of a question, but what are your thoughts on Lady Gaga?
What are my thoughts on it? She's awesome. Yeah, she had a dream and she made it happen, and she worked with a bunch of Canadians, and and I played a guitar. I've played 2 guitars that Lady Gaga's been part of in the last 2 weeks. So I played a guitar at Gibson in New York, a guitar that she didn't want to give back. She loved it so much. It was the same guitar as mine, but a little bit different. And then I just played a guitar at Gibson here that was used on set for a film with her and Bradley Cooper that's coming out. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but.
Oh my gosh! I just picked someone that I feel like has the same kind of like soul in their music, and I didn't know all those connections. That's really cool.
She's pretty awesome. But I did meet James Bay and hung around with him like 2 weeks ago, and he's amazing.
My gosh.
Like he's literally the nicest dude in the world, and he also played the guitar I played yesterday. So I would love to work with James too.
You're so connected already. Like it's so cool.
we got some people.
Yeah, you got some connections. How do you think people should listen to your music? Because I started listening to some of the songs, and I immediately just felt like, I'm really not just saying this, but it felt like really good soul music that you can just like, your soul just cleanses, and it's just like, let's do this.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you imagine like people listening?
I mean, just like that. People tell me how they listen to it, but I'd say close your eyes, open your heart, and see what you feel. Like, to be honest, and then reach out to me and let me know. Message me. I'm the guy who answers all the messages, and I try and talk to everybody. Yeah, it's like I have a piece called Swipe Right that I wrote, which is a spoken word, and if you watch it at the end, I literally put my phone number at the end. in case somebody feels like they're alone and doesn't have anybody. I remember what that felt like. So
that is amazing.
I can't always answer it, but it is my phone number, and it does come right to my phone, and I take those calls from all around the world. So
that is amazing. I did not know that. Like, talk about being grounded. Talk about being there for you guys, and just like being connected. Because I feel like, you know, you said that you're inspired by everyone, and I think that we can all be inspired by you and everything that you're doing. Unfortunately, we're now out of time.
It's okay.
But I know we're going to hear and see a lot of you in the coming months, and I mean, even now. Like, you are on social media everywhere, and on Spotify. I already got all your songs. So where can people find you on social media?
Everywhere. Everything at Forest Blakk. Reach out to me, message me, say hi to me, become my friend, I'll become your friend, and yeah, and then at a show hopefully near you. That would be the best, because then we can experience that together.
Oh my god, yeah. I want to go.
Yeah, you're invited.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm your host, Amy Cassandra Martinez. You can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.